Closure is a scam and you don't need it, and let's talk about it. So I'm gonna give you guys a more in-depth definition of closure first, then we're gonna talk about it, right? So closure is the feeling of having a sense of finality, completion, or resolution after a difficult situation or experience, especially when it involves emotional distress. It's the feeling of moving on and accepting the past, allowing you to heal and focus on the future. So for example, if I can actually use myself, actually. So I'm gonna take it back to 3 years ago, right? I was dealing with a boy. Everything was cool until 6 months down the line, he started to be like very in and out as far as communication, and I didn't like it, and I cut it off with him, right? So I want to say a week after that, I found out why. He had a girlfriend for 2 years. I don't know how he hid it for 6 months with me. I don't know how he was able to be consistent for the 6 months with me, but he was. Seen him very, very often. But at the end, I guess he just couldn't hide it no more, and it came out, and I found out he had a girlfriend or whatever. So I cut him off. I was very hurt about it. I was very much in my feelings. I blocked him. And a year later, I found myself being over the situation, but not 100%. So I felt like I was 80% over the situation. I felt like I healed as much as that I could possibly heal on my own. But I did feel like I needed closure to go on and seal the deal. Right? So boom. I unblock him. And I call him and I'm like, look, we need to have a conversation. We need to speak about what happened. And I'm like, what was it? Like, what was this? You know, like, what did it even mean to you? What was any of this? You know what I'm saying? And he responded the complete opposite of what I wanted him to say. So I'm not going to say he responded the complete opposite of what I thought he was going to say. It was more of what I wanted him to say. I wanted him to be sorry. You know, I wanted him to understand the wounds he inflicted on me from me feeling like I've been cheated on, to me realizing I was the side chick, to me realizing you never gave a fuck. Like, it was a lot to unpack, and it was very hurtful. So I thought in the slightest he would be apologetic, sorry. It's some word with an R I can't think of. But yeah, that's what I thought he was gonna be. But he was the complete opposite. He was like, well, I mean, I did love you at first, but I just know that I've been knowing her longer and you're more independent. So I know you'll be okay without me. You ain't really need me. She needed me. So I had to be here with her. And I just always thought about her. Da 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 da. Complete opposite. The fucking complete opposite of what I deserved to hear. But that was my closure. You know? And, it made me realize that, yes, he hurt me. Yes, it sucks. But yes, it's also time to move on. And some people don't change. You know, you don't change with age. You don't change with time. You change with choice. And if you don't decide to change, you will never change. You will be 52 with the same 18-year-old mindset if you don't choose to grow up, if you don't choose to change. You get me? And that's what I realized. So, he gave me the closure to realize that what he said now felt far more painful than the actions he actually did. And I realized right then and there that closure is a fucking scam. Okay, I'm gonna be real. Like I said, that was my closure. In reality, it really did help me. But closure is not always necessary, and it's not always needed. I don't really think it's a scam necessarily, but I don't think it's something that should be chased, because not everybody is sorry for what they did. That's the hard truth about it. Like, not everybody is apologetic. Not everybody what is that word? Resource, like, I can't think of the word. I wish I could think of the word. I feel like it started with an R. But not everybody feel bad. You know, some people are truly so lost in themselves, in so far of a deep, dark hole that they don't have the mental capacity to feel bad for nobody else, because they're drowning in their own head and in their mind, and they really dislike themselves and are really lost, you know. And that's okay too, because they're human and it happens and it's life. But you don't need to seek closure, because for one, not everybody is able to give you that. And you just need to really focus more on genuinely forgiving somebody without just saying you forgive them. Like, you could be in the process of forgiving them, but you don't completely forgive them because you still hold resentment towards them, or you're still bitter about it, or you're still mad about it. When you really forgive somebody, it's nothing to be held over their head, and it's nothing to really be fucked up about no more. You know, like in 2024, I cut off my 3 closest people in my life, which was practically my best friend, whose name was Aaliyah, my actual best friend, whose name was Sticks, and a boy that I was in a situationship with for the past 2 years at the time, Ashton. That shit hurt. You get me? Like, that shit fucking sucked. But I did it for me, you know? And I didn't seek closure when I cut them off, because at that point I got to a point where I didn't care. You know, like, I feel so disrespected by you guys. I feel so hurt by you guys that I don't even care to hear why you done this to me. I don't even care. So I cut them off. But as time went by, I remember I would just be like, I mean, I forgive them. But then I would keep talking about the situation. And it's not to say that you can't forgive somebody and still hear from the situation, but it's not really forgiving them if you still hold emotions to it. You know, you're in the process of forgiving them, but you haven't completely forgave them. And as of today, I completely forgave them. So it's like, I don't even care to go in detail to explain to y'all about why I cut them off or why they're no longer in my life, because I just don't care no more. Like, I love them, and I will always love them because I genuinely love them from the beginning, but I do not aspire to have them in my life, you know, and that's okay. And I'm fine with that, without them explaining anything, without me asking them anything. I'm okay, because I know I did this decision for me, and it was to better my life, and my life is better because of it. Like, my mental health is better. I feel less uncomfortable in my daily life in certain situations, because I don't have to force myself to be uncomfortable just to hang around certain people, or shrink myself and make myself be smaller or feel smaller to keep people in my life. So when you choose to walk away, or maybe they walked away, find a reason to relate it to yourself in a sense of something to be happy about. Like, I was happy I let it go because it bettered my mental health. I was happy I let it go because it was an act of self-love, right? And so you just hold on to that, and you look forward to that. Talk about it, get it out, cry, be angry about it, but also actively be in the process of forgiving, because forgiving people sets you free at the end of the day. And the day you could wake up and you could think about the situation without being angry, without being sad, without even calling them out their name or speaking down on them. If you could just explain the situation clear as day with no emotions, no side comments, and nothing in your heart, you forgiving them, because there's no resentment left and there's no bitterness left. So closure is not necessary. To a degree, it's a scam, but it does help. Whether it's a good reaction or a bad reaction, it lets you know what to do and how to move forward, you know. But don't be stuck on closure, because it's not necessary at all. So thank you.